What's up, music lovers? Thanks for tuning back in to Key Track Music Reviews, your channel for brand new music and the listening experience. This is episode 8. I'll be talking about Doggerel, the latest album by the Pixies. I'm going to start out by sharing a brief history of the band, go over some of the technical info, share my general impressions of the album and sounds, and then finally dig into the 2 key tracks I selected. The Pixies are an American band formed in the Boston area in 1986 by songwriter Black Francis and guitarist Joey Santiago. Their first full-length album, titled Surfer Rosa, was released in 1988 and became an influential contribution to alternative rock and grunge music, eventually selling over 700,000 copies. Kurt Cobain himself claimed it was an influence for his songwriting on Nevermind. The Pixies have split up and regrouped over the years, and Doggerel has all of the original band members except bassist Kim Deal. This is their 8th studio album and features Black Francis on lead vocals and guitar, Paz Lenchentin on bass guitar, keyboards, and backing vocals, David Lovering on drums, and Joey Santiago on guitar. It was released on September 30th, 2022 on the BMG label, engineered, mixed, and produced by Tom Dalgetty, mastered by Robin Schmidt, and cover designed by Chris Bigg. And speaking of covers, I really like this semi-abstract cover style. It looks like a sun-shaped piece of melted wax or something like that, and the typography of the band is really cool and iconic. Alright, hold on to your butts, because before I get into the music, things are going to get a little bit nerdy, because I have to address the title of the album and its meaning. Doggerel can be defined as comic verse composed in irregular rhythm, or verse or words that are badly written or expressed. Not only are some of the lyrics on here doggerel themselves, but they actually quote some known historical doggerel. Track 12, the title track, opens up with this stanza. 3 pretty boys did Gabriel get, the youngest George by name, sir. A funny dog not favored much, by fortune or by fame, sir. According to an annotation on Genius.com, these words were penned by George Hanger, who was writing about himself as the son of his father Gabriel. I won't go any deeper than that, but Hanger's Wikipedia page is a very quick and yet very interesting read. The guy had a wild life and he wrote all about it. Here's 2 more examples of doggerel from the album. From track 1, No Matter Day, we have Feast of Burden That-A-Way, Beast of Famine That-A-Way, Easter Bunny That-A-Way. And from track 11, You're Such a Sadducee, or Seducee, You think that you and me should chat, but your soliloquy's a drag. I think that you and me are like ventriloquy, meaning you just blah 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 blah, and I'm just somebody here sitting bored to death. But finally, onto the music. If you're a longtime Pixies fan and you've heard this album, you might think I picked the safest tracks. But here's the full disclosure. I've listened to the album 6 or 7 times, start to finish, on the stereo, at work on the Bluetooth, and honestly, I grew to love almost every single song on the album. I realized that for this review, I was looking for songs I could listen to repeatedly. This wasn't a search for showstopper performances or emotional lyric bombs that cut me really deep. It was about identifying what could allow me to faithfully rock out and just chill to some good rock music. From start to finish, in terms of production, we get super clean mixes with great instrument separation and well-recorded instruments and vocals. There are some stereo effects here and there, but the right and left channels are primarily for backing vocals here, additional layers of electric guitar here. The music has dynamics, textures, hooks, and that essential feeling of authenticity. It also has a couple of fake intros, or at least that's what I would call them, which I think are really cool. They are intros that build up really quickly and then drop off just as quickly, leaving in its place an entirely new pace and flavor for the song to begin. However, this happens sometimes in the middle of the song, and for the most part I was not a fan of that. For example, back to track 1, No Matter Day, it entirely loses its edge when the mood shifts around the 2-minute mark. I'm nitpicking here for sure, but that's the point and that's why I'm telling you. Overall, if this were my band, I would be thrilled to death to sound this good on an album. I would describe it as a presentation of new classic sounds. Drums are vintage but still brand new, with an almost touchable ride cymbal and a satisfying kick drum sound. The tom hits are generously spread between the right and the left channels. And the drumming can be unabashedly simple. Ting 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 on the ride cymbal and not much more for fills, but that's fine. Remember, simple does not always mean easy. There's a lot more to drumming than just how many notes you can squeeze into a measure. The acoustic guitar is natural and detailed, and is sometimes double-tracked. The electric guitar tones are familiar but have their own style too. They can be cavernous and spacious, relying mostly on middle to lower notes and mostly avoiding higher notes and high string bends even during the solos. There's also some whammy bar and some wah pedals sprinkled throughout the tracks. The bass guitar is clean and always serves as the backbone of the track. You can hear the pick work in places, and it adds realism for me because those sounds are translated into a vision by my listening imagination. I know what it's like to play the bass with fingers and a pick, so when either of those are readily identifiable, it brings me that much closer to the music during the listening experience. The vocals are engaging, and the delivery is consistent. Black Francis has this great way of sounding like a truth teller without sounding preachy or lame. On to the key tracks. The first key track I selected is number 4, Haunted House. And I like this song because of its simplicity for the most part. It's singable, it's upbeat, and it has fun compositional elements, such as one of those fake intros, and also momentary dropouts, where for a few beats all you hear is the guitar or the drums before everybody else comes right back in. I also like that you can hear pick sweeping across the strings of a second acoustic guitar somewhere in the middle left of the mix. The singing and vocal inflections provide a memorable melody and give the song character, while later on we get a theremin which provides that classic spooky woo sound. The track has the least amount of doggerel, but here's a portion of the lyrics. Haunted house all full of ghosts, I'm gonna pass that way. Haunted house where I want to go, I'm gonna go today. Now, I'm not convinced that he wants to be a ghost or that he doesn't want to be a ghost. He might just want to visit. But honestly, does it really matter? No, not really. The second key track I selected is track number 7, Thunder and Lightning. It starts with a full band building up the sound of doom before breaking into just the acoustic guitar and vocals. It also has this cool half measure thing that happens before the chorus that breaks up the monotony of the 1, 2, 3, 4 strumming rhythm. And faraway reverb on the guitars somehow remind me of canyons and the Great West. I think there's piano in this track as well. It's either that or the bass guitar is using pedal effects because there's two different sounds of bass note. There's one that's boomy and kind of strange, and then there's the other one that has the classic bass guitar tone to it. Now the track goes quiet around the 2-minute 20-second mark and then rises again for the close with a couple more repeats of the chorus line. But I don't think the chorus is key here in terms of the lyrics. I think the key doggerel lyric is the very first, which is, "There was a storm today in Chinatown. My favorite vegetable was really coming down." I mean, what the heck? I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't think it has any connection whatsoever to the rest of the song. But, I don't know, that doesn't really matter. It's doggerel. By the way, what's your favorite vegetable? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with me and learning more about this album and the Pixies. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more new album music reviews in the future. I don't know what's coming up next, but I'm going through a stack of 10, so hopefully there will be one worth reviewing. Until next time, this is Alex for Key Track Music Reviews saying goodbye and happy doggereling.